Hello everyone, and welcome back to Crusader Kings 2. In our last episode, we won a holy war. In this episode, we're going to administer our captured territory. Because we are over our domain limit, if we start a time now, we would suffer major penalties to our levy size and tax income. So what we want to do is give away some lands to our loyal vassals. Alright, when you conquer a land through a holy war, you gain all of the titles that belonged to people of a different religion. Because everyone who had a title in our conquered lands was Muslim, we actually have a lot of territory to give away. So let's take a look at our titles here. We've got baronies, bishoprics, cities, and counties. Our domain limit is 5, and there are 5 counties in our territory. So we're going to be keeping the county titles and giving away all of the barony level titles. If we didn't have anyone to give them to, like if we conquered a whole bunch of land and we didn't want to give too much to a single person, we could click on the county, and as you can see, our coat of arms is on all of these. So let's just choose like the bishopric of Casp. And we could go in there and we could click on this crown button and create a new vassal. However, we don't want to do that now because we have a rare opportunity. Ordinarily, with our current kingdom laws, we have papal investiture, which means that we can't give away bishoprics, except that we are technically the bishop at the moment, so we can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Anzar Galindez here of House de Aragon. He has claim to the Duchy of Aragon, the County of Alto Aragon, and the Barony of Loire. We disinherited him before, but we're going to grant him a title now. Specifically, we're going to make him the Bishop of Hiar. There we go. That should mean that he will no longer have the opportunity to reproduce. He's a chaste priest now, or at least notionally celibate. Then what we're also going to do is grant bishoprics to his sons. I'm not sure exactly what the theological implications of giving a bishopric to a child is, but I am sure that politically it's the best thing to do. Alright, so these guys are bishops now, which means in theory they will never have children, and thus the claims to our titles will pass out of their house and into nothingness. But just to be doubly sure, I'm going to click on the sister here and arrange a betrothal between her and, let's see, she's 7 years old, so we're going to betroth her to our 4-year-old son, Garcia. And that means that if there are any claims to inherit, her son, our grandson, or great-grandson, I should say, will be of House Iniga, and thus the claims will stay in our house. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is deal with the prestige penalty that we're getting from having an unlanded son. So we're losing 0.8 prestige a month, and that is a significant fraction of our total. So we're going to go to our heir here, Prince Anso, and click on him and grant him some titles. We're going to grant him 2 baronies. Now, ordinarily, it's not a good idea to give someone too much power, but he's our heir, and that means that he is going to inherit these counties, and when he takes over, it'll be a good idea for him to have some stuff to give away. I'm also going to award him an honorary title, because he holds important lands. I want him to like me as much as possible. He can be my cupbearer. Okay. Giving him titles has fired him from the council, I didn't want to do that. But thanks to a glitch or something, he's not available to rehire. So I'm going to find someone unimportant. Anzar Fortunas already hates me. So I'm going to appoint him Marshal and then immediately fire him to rehire Anso. Okay. Train troops, Anso. Then the only titles we have left to give away are cities, which are not the most prestigious in the world. So I'm going to go and find some of my grandsons. Lope here. Grant him a city. And then let's take a look. I don't want to give them to people who hate me too much because, the opinion of your vassals determines how much stuff they give you, and if it's too low, we'll never recover. Alright, and then let's see. I believe that Anso himself has an adult son who does not hate me immensely. Okay, you are now the mayor of Tyrell. And then I'm also going to make you master of the horse. Opinion is positive. Good enough. Okay, so all of our titles are given away, and every title in the kingdom, except for some of these legacy baronies here, belongs to someone in my dynasty, which is excellent, because we want to keep it all in the family. One child lacks a guardian, so I'm going to have Anso, I believe, educate my daughter. There you go. Want maximum happiness. Alright, the last thing to do is look at our religion tab. This is a bit more detailed than in the character selection screen. That's because we have a better sense of the political situation. White territories are Catholic territories, and green territories are Muslim territories. But then we've also got these ones here that are white with green diamonds. That means that they are ruled by Muslims, but the people are Catholic. Then this green one with white diamonds means that it's ruled by Catholics, but the people are Muslim. This is potentially a bad situation for us. There might be a religious rebellion in the territory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my court chaplain there to proselytize. Hopefully he'll be able to convert them to Catholicism and thus eliminate the threat of rebellion, which is really important because we do not have anywhere close to the military necessary to handle it. We've got 700 troops. Part of that is all the ones we lost in the war. The other reason is that because our territories are recently conquered, they are suffering a penalty to levy size and tax income that won't go away for a year. So even though it looks like my total levy has decreased, that is just temporary, because I got rid of some baronies. Once these counties start becoming profitable, my power should skyrocket. Finally, the last thing we want to do is manage our domain internally and take some political actions that will make us more popular in the realm. So to do that, we go to the Intrigue tab. And this Intrigue tab is a very important tab that you'll use often that gives you information about political stuff inside your realm. Like at the top here, we could choose a plot. The only plot available to us right now is to see Queen Leodegunda dead, which we don't want to do because she's been a pretty good wife and she's our spy master. Other plots will become available when, based on your circumstances. As king, we don't really have a lot of plotting to do. When you make a plot, you have to invite backers to the plot to increase the plot power. The plot power is the chance of success. Each backer contributes something. Okay, our next part of the screen down here is decisions. This is what we're really interested in. Like, we could hold a grand tournament, except we don't have the gold for that. or the prestige. Or we could, invite some holy men and nobles to the court. Those are useful if you've got vacant positions on your council and you need someone new to come along. The downside of that is that the person that you pick is random, so they might not have the skills that you need. We could present a debutante, which brings a noble woman to our court, which is useful if we have relatives who need wives and we don't have a reasonable political alliance to make. What we really want to do is hold a feast. Once we hold a feast, everyone in our territory will give a temporary opinion bonus to us. However, we cannot hold a feast right now because it's only April and we have to wait until November. Summer Fair would wait till May. Grand Hunt has to wait till September. They all have similar effects. We could go on a pilgrimage. This would raise our piety and make us more popular with church types, but we don't have anything that we don't need it. Then there's other options. We could repay our loans, buy an indulgence for our sins, expel the Jews from our land, which seems pretty cruel, but it would mean we wouldn't have to repay the loan. Down here are 3 more tabs. Threats, which there are none, but if our vassals had an urge to rebel, this is where they would show up. Prisoners, we captured 1 prisoner in the war, Galib. We could release him from prison, ransom him, or execute him. Let's see, he doesn't want... the ransom button's grayed out, so let's take a look here. More detail. Ransom prisoner. Unfortunately, his liege, Sultan Muhammad, has no interest in him. So there's no chance that he's going to be ransomed. It'll only be 10 gold anyway. I guess because he's low-born. The higher the rank, the bigger the ransom. And some of these ransoms can get pretty profitable. So let's see here. We cannot release him from prison because he is currently in rebellion against his lord. Okay, that is why. He's a rebel, and thus his lord doesn't want him back. Okay, back to the intrigue tab. The last one is known plots. If someone in our kingdom were plotting to do something, this is where they would show up. Some of these plots we would want to let go, and others we'd want to stop. We could potentially click this button here to auto-stop all plots, but we're a small enough kingdom that it's not worth it at the moment. And so intrigue is a very important tab, helps you deal with your lands internally, and we are definitely going to want to hold a feast or perhaps a summer fair as soon as it becomes available in order to increase the opinion of our vassals.